that we walk just as women,
Mhm.
metaphorically speaking and literally speaking, and the way a heel changes our walk and demeanor.
Mhm.
As
Right.
a kid, I always play like dress up in heels, and I found that it was more so the feeling of confidence that took over. And
Right.
that's just because heels are very bold and classy and distinctive, and it's almost like an activation piece.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk, the Style Crypt. I am your host, Asia the Bird. Today, we have a very special guest with us today. She is a fashion designer. Please welcome Dahria. Hello, Dahria, and how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Glad to have you on the show. So, I want to go ahead and get started by asking where you're originally from and tell us a little about your upbringing.
Okay. I'm born in DC, raised in Maryland and DC. My parents were divorced, so I had the best of both worlds.
Hmm. Oh yeah, I'm the same. I'm born in DC, raised in Maryland, so I'm the same way.
Yeah,
In terms of
yeah.
like the
As a
origin.
kid, yeah. I can say as a kid, life was fun. It was interesting. I had the privilege of growing up faster than most. And I say
Hmm.
privilege because, I'm grateful for the experiences that shaped my entire understanding of life.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. So I want to go ahead and really talk about like your school experience. Like what was like your school experience like grade school, college, possibly trade school, fashion school, things like that.
Yeah, I went to a Montessori school. It was K through 8. It wasn't a
Hmm.
typical school where students would sit in front of a whiteboard. It was way less structured and
Hmm.
very independent. It was more like visual and abstract materials focused on meaning before symbols. So it was very
Hmm.
independent. The child was more hands-on rather than the teacher. So yeah, I
Hmm.
can say here I developed independence at a very young age.
Hmm.
Fast forwarding to high school, I attended an art school, Duke Ellington School of the Arts. I
Hmm.
was in the dance department.
Okay.
Yeah, and so um, I was exposed to the artsy world. I found my own sense of creativity
Hmm.
and intertwining my exposure to music, art, and fashion. And, I found beauty in what it means to just exist.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's yeah, absolutely. Like what attracted you to like dance and stuff? Like what were some of the genres of dance you would get into? Like hip hop, jazz, things like that.
So we didn't do hip hop. We did more like contemporary modern ballet
Okay.
and little African. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's really, really cool. Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
get into as far as the oh, go
I
ahead, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I danced all of my life. Like my mom had me in ballet since I was a toddler. So
Oh, wow.
it was kind of bound to happen.
I
Yeah.
want to get into as far as the next question. So, who or what exposed you to fashion? And also, did you take any classes to learn accessory design or was it all self-taught?
No, so I think to be at my most natural state is to be creative.
Mhm,
Whether it's in the way I dress, the way I think, I found interest in experimenting. I
mhm,
think being in an artistic environment, it sparked my curiosity through so
mhm.
many different pathways. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Now, who are like some of your favorite black designers, accessory designers, fashion designers? Who are like some of like your favorite black designers, possibly?
So I say God is my favorite artist. I find
Okay.
art in everything, whether it's sound, visuals. Of course, there are brands that I like to wear, like Dolce and Gabbana, or like
Mhm,
rare thrifted pieces.
mhm.
But I find art in things that aren't necessarily tangible, and so
Right.
I'm influenced mostly by music and
Mhm.
sound and vibrations and
Yeah.
that's Erica Badu, Jill Scott, Alex
Mhm.
Isley, Lauryn Hill,
Yeah.
jazz instrumentals,
Yeah.
music that speaks to the soul. So
Mhm.
I don't categorize myself or limit myself to one umbrella. So when I
Right.
create, it comes from many different areas other than just, fashion, because fashion is broad when you think deeper than surface level.
Right. Right. Absolutely, totally. I think there's fashion in regards to like nature, especially with animals,
Mhm.
especially with birds, especially birds. Birds is like my favorite animal.
Yeah.
And that, birds have a sense, especially male birds have a sense of expression with their colors,
Mm,
the way that they dance to attract a mate and things like that, and that's
yeah.
something. And I like how you mentioned that God is the fashion designer, because that is true. He has
Yeah.
designed, you know, the world of how it is. There's
Hmm.
fashion in regards to the trees, of how the branches come out, different patterns, and things like that. So, I'm definitely inspired by nature as a creative as well, being an
Yeah.
artist and a nail artist and things like that. Just the colors, the vibrancy, and plus the imperfections of it all too.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So I want to go ahead and really get into, as far as the next question, I want to get into Tonye Physique.
Hmm.
So what inspired your brand? Like how'd you start your brand? What was the journey like?
I'm intrigued by symbolism,
Hmm.
uh, the journey that we walk just as women,
Hmm.
metaphorically speaking and literally speaking, and the way a hill changes our walk and demeanor.
Hmm.
Um, as
Right.
a kid, I always play like dress up in heels, and I found that it was more so the feeling of confidence that took over. And,
Right.
that's just because heels are very bold and classy and distinctive. And, it's almost like an activation piece.
Right.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's the thing with, as far as like with heels, like they come in different styles. And I love it
Yeah.
how within haute couture fashion, like, the heel is so like express, especially with, like, for example, when you take Scaparelli, you know what I mean? It's not like just a regular heel. Like it'll have like a gold accent to it. It's like the five toes and stuff like that. I like how
Yeah.
they play with the gold accents in their fashion designs, especially with Balmain. Balmain had a collection,
Hmm.
I think, a year or two ago, where it was playing with
Hmm.
colors, like paying tribute and homage to Africa.
Hmm.
And, it's definitely really, really cool to see, especially how much you can go with, as far as like with heels, with accessories, and be
Hmm.
creative with it, especially with having it as a statement piece as well, too. One of the things I really like is Brandon Blackwood. And the reason why is because not only his fur coats had a statement, but he started with trunk bags. And so
Yeah.
with like one of his bags, he said anti-systemic racism. So I love how with fashion it can convey a message, especially it can impact
Mhm.
the people as well.
Yeah.
Mm. So I want to get into, as far as I want to get into the process of your shoe design. So what's your creative process as far as building a shoe design? Do you sketch out your designs before you build them, or do you go off the top with your designs and you just, are you very like imaginative? Like what's your process like?
Yeah. It's a mixture of all, honestly. I meditate
Mhm.
often. I spend a lot of time in solitude. I journal. I say journaling is the key to my designs. First, there's meaning, then there's visuals, and sometimes it's vice versa.
Right,
Sometimes my designs are depicted upon the phase of life that I am at
right.
that
Mhm.
moment. Um, Whenever I get an idea, I write it down, uh, whether I see a piece of fabric or a sound that I hear or just a piece of just material. I'm
Mhm.
constantly always brainstorming, and it's like my mind is wired to view art in everything that I see. So my designs
Right.
come natural.
Mm. Yeah, totally, absolutely, definitely. So I want to get into and push forward and talk about SneakerCon. So you
Yeah,
promoted your heels. It's called the Preppy Sneaker Heel.
yeah.
At SneakerCon. So what was the idea behind the shoes? Because I find that's really cool. Like how, there's multiple ways you can utilize, to
Yeah.
really design the heel of how you want to. So what was the process behind thinking about that?
Yeah, so Preppy Sneaker Heel is very multi-dimensional. It's very versatile. I like to say it's a sophisticated fusion.
Hmm.
Um, Metaphorically speaking, it reflects a woman who doesn't fit the mold
Right.
that society has placed on her.
Right.
You know, she's unapologetic, much
Mm-hmm.
like a sneaker. You know, and I actually
Right.
have it here. Let's see.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
love that. I love it.
thank
It's
you.
amazing. It's too
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so it's kind of controversial in this sense because it's a sneaker and a heel. But
Mm-hmm.
when I got to a point where I continued to tell myself bigger, like as far as my influence, like just go bigger, think bigger. I've always had an obsession with things that are kind of esoteric, and
Mm-hmm.
so I feel like a lot of women are blinded, but by what they're trained to see,
Right.
and
Mm-hmm.
instead of what we have the power to see.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I like to keep that mysterious and show that
Mm-hmm.
through my art, and hopefully trigger curiosity within other women to dig
Mm-hmm.
deeper.
Yeah, yeah, and I like with the heel, it really has that multidimensional type of aspect to it, and I like how, it's not one thing. There's multiple ways of how you can style it as well. So
Yeah,
definitely, it's a thing of it being where women are multidimensional.
yeah,
It's definitely having a perspective of having multidimensional type of mindset of different things and how things are created. And I think that's very, very important with anything that you create is to have a sense of a dimensionality to your process. And what I like about it is like with the heel, you can adjust it. It's a sneaker and a heel into one. You know what I mean? So that's really, really cool of how, yeah, you take it out, you put it back, and
yeah.
it's very, very cool. And it's something different. I've never seen it before.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's something that's really, really cool and unique about that. So I want to get into as far as the next question. So what are some of the other shoe creations like within your brand, you really. Ooh, I like that one. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really cool too.
Thank you. So this is Farah. It's similar to the meaning of preppy, but it's focused more on like the duality of a woman, like her pain and her poise, her fierceness and her femininity, and
Mhm.
her wild soul and refined presence. And
Right.
I used the script from my journal in
Oh, I
here
like that.
and embedded
Mhm.
it into the fabric. So it's not just like a cow print heel that everyone thinks they're wearing. It's an
Mhm.
energy that says this is my transformation,
Mhm.
and I'm breaking barriers that's set upon women that keeps us limited. Um,
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So the next collection that I had was Physique Diaries.
Oh, I like that shoe. I love
Yeah.
it.
So it's released in chapters.
Okay.
And each heel that I release is within a diary. So it's a chapter within a diary.
Okay.
And so it's for the evolution of a woman. So I
Mhm.
have the awakening, the ascension, the illumination, the remain, and so forth.
Mhm. Yeah, and I like how with each of your shoes, they have a sense of meaning to it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And that's something that's not I don't see it as much in regards to like with shoe designers and like
Mhm.
with shoes in fashion currently. I like how where with what you're wearing is telling a story. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Is definitely there's a deeper meaning behind it. And I like how with your thought process, you think deeper in regards to like what you're creating and things like that. That's something with me. Like if I
Mhm.
build something like a nail art set or like something like an illustration, I want things to have meaning to
Yeah.
really make the viewer or the person that's wearing it think like, hey, what is this about? Or, what is it that I see and things like that. So and it's up
Mhm.
to people's interpretation. So I like how
Yeah.
your designs have deep meaning to it.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely welcome. So I want to
Um,
get into as far as the next question. So I want to get into as far as dream clients. Like who would you say would be possibly your dream clients, possibly?
Tiana Taylor, for
Oh yeah.
sure. Erica Badu. I think they are both true embodiments of Tanya Physique. They're bold, they're unapologetic,
Yeah.
they're fierce, they're strong in femininity, they are poised.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, perfect too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I could see like Tiana Taylor rocking the preppy sneaker heel one. Or any
Yes.
one of those heels really.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Especially Erica Badu, the sneaker heel. I could see it with her too. Yeah, I could see her
Yes.
rocking that too.
Hmm.
Yeah, that'd be really, really awesome. So I want to get into as far as the next question. So from running a fashion brand, what would be some of your insight in regards to business or branding tips for anyone who wants to have their own fashion business, who wants to start their own fashion business?
I'd say stay true to yourself, and I mean like to your core. Be the purest form of you that you haven't even met yet.
Right.
Uh,
Hmm.
there's so many layers that we have yet to unpack. Yeah, I believe that we're all artists, and some just haven't met
Right.
the version of themselves yet. Um, Another piece of advice I'd say: know your worth. Don't jump at every opportunity you see. Honestly,
Right.
there's a lot of entitlement in the industry, and I'd say
Yeah.
stand your ground
Agreed.
and stand your ground because your brand is an extension of you. So believe in
Absolutely.
yourself, because you set the tone. You know, you are the creator. And lastly, ask yourself purpose or profit.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And definitely it's definitely understanding your worth and your value. Definitely understand like how you said, standing your ground. Cause I think with us as creatives, I think it's a thing where sometimes we don't know in regards to how to stand our ground or how to set boundaries and things like that. And especially when I went to art school, I wasn't really taught very much about how to understand my worth. I mean, we learned the basis of business, but it didn't get to a point where it's like, hey, understand these things to be financially stable and secure and things like that. So it's definitely a thing where we have to understand our worth and charge what we're worth too, because it's definitely because that's honoring our work, that's honoring what we have created. So definitely that is the thing. So value is definitely important.
Mhm.
I want to get into as far as just with the black community as far as supporting, black fashion designers. So why is it important for the black community to support independent black accessory designers?
Hmm. To be black alone is to be powerful. You know,
Yeah.
real art began with us. And I would just leave that there.
All right. Yeah, absolutely, most definitely, totally. Do you think that black designers get enough credit or respect within the fashion world? Why or why not?
No, no,
Mhm.
honestly, no. Um, I mean, pay attention. You know, there's not a lot of black artists that are mainstream, but
Right.
black aesthetics are. You know,
Right.
they get more attention than the creators, the black creators.
Right.
Um, and I feel like we don't see them because the system isn't designed for longevity if it's not pertaining to money.
Right.
Um,
Hmm.
I think the black community is sleep in a sense. But you know, I think black culture is consumed and not sustained.
Right. Right.
So that-
Definitely the thing is that I don't think that black designers get enough credit, either, especially like, in the beauty industry too. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Definitely it's something that what's mainstream definitely is a lot of the trends that we have set. Definitely that, black designers and especially black accessory designers don't get enough credit as far as the trends
Yeah.
that are set within the fashion industry.
Mhm.
Black culture has pushed the fashion industry forward, especially helping a lot of brands get a leg up to where they're at, being multi-million dollar, multi-billion dollar brands. So that's definitely the thing. So
Mhm.
definitely without us, the fashion industry and beauty industry wouldn't be where it's at.
Right.
I want to get into as far as the next question. So how do you balance being a fashion designer with life and mental health?
Mm. Honestly, I combine all of them. You know, I
Hmm.
put my soul and anything that I'm feeling into my business, into
Hmm.
my brand, into my designs. And you know, like I said before, to be at my most natural state is to be creative. So even through
Right.
pain or even through happiness or feeling joyful, I'm able to put that into my design. So it all works, you know. Um,
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Last but not least, where can people find you on social media and how can people support your business?
Tonye Fezek on Instagram and TikTok. That is also my website. It's Tonyefezek.
All right, that's absolutely incredible. Well, thank you so much, Dahria, for jumping on. You know, I saw you on the clip with SneakerCon, and I was like, yo, I gotta have you on the show because the sneaker heels are amazing. The preppy sneaker heel is absolutely A1. You know, keep doing what you're doing. I love that you are about meaning and about, you know, talking about, you know, stories through your fashion designs, through your shoe designs, you know, especially celebrating Black women and femininity and storytelling is absolutely immaculate. So, you know, I love your use of pattern and color as well, you know, especially with the other heel that the house in chapters. So you know, I wish you the best of luck with everything and just thank you so much. It's absolutely cool.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Take care.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also, follow me on my social media platforms and be on the lookout for more interviews to come very soon. Take care, stay healthy, and stay beautiful. Bye-bye.